Hello and welcome to a new episode of the BIMvoice podcast. Today's guest is Øyvind Svaland. He's working as a BIM coordinator and project lead extended reality at Veidekke in Norway. Veidekke in Norway is the largest general contractor. Welcome, Øyvind. How are you doing?
Thanks. Same to you. I'm doing great. So currently working on a railroad project in Drammen. So mostly I'm doing my work hour there, and my responsibilities are as a BIM coordinator. Yeah.
I see. What is this extended reality project in Veidekke?
Yeah, that's my other half of responsibility. Currently, I am only using my spare time on that in Veidekke. But we have a lot of spare time, did we not? So extended reality is, I think it is the best way to say it is the umbrella of AR, VR, and mixed reality. And also, I am also sticking to saying and call things mixed reality because if you want to be really specific, there are a difference between AR and mixed reality, but that's more hard to describe with words. So XR, I think that is extended reality, and XR is easier for people to understand, and that's why we choose it. And I think there are a lot of more words. Spatial web also. Spatial web is maybe the best one, but yeah, we stick into XR in Veidekke right now. Yeah.
But from a practical point of view, what does this mean? Do you use any specific devices, or how do you use this?
Yeah. So basically, in the last couple of years, we have in Veidekke we have focused mostly on AR and mixed reality. So then we of course use smartphones and glasses like HoloLens. So we have like really much experience on HoloLens. I think in Veidekke we have people have used HoloLens and like for 4 years, almost 4.5 years. So, but there is not a daily work right now with HoloLens. So, but we use that, and on VR, there are many different hardware and software. So we use different kind of types. Yeah.
But I mean, like, do you? What is the reason you are using this for? You use it to build projects, or you use it just to review projects, or what is the purpose of this technology?
Yeah, yeah. The purpose is, I think we start with purpose, but because purpose for us is changing every workflow where AR and mixed reality and virtual reality can help or improve. And that is after many years of experience, and so we have come to a conclusion there where we think that this will be included in many different use cases, or and give effects like in every type, every like phase of the project. So regardless if it is before project, even in really early stage, and after. So in the future, we will use mostly AR. We will use a lot of AR and mixed reality, a lot, and that it will be like both privately, like private at home, like when we are not at work, but also at work, we will use a lot of AR and mixed reality.
I see. But exactly this term, extended reality, is something a patent that Veidekke has, or it's something generally that there are more companies working with?
Yeah. So since extended work, we are just a user. So, but we have we understand, and Veidekke understand that it seems like it has a future, and it's like everything, like every checkbox when we think about the new technology, is like, okay, is it valuable? Yeah. Can it solve anything we have trouble? Yes. And like that. So everything is set up and for a change. So, and then therefore regarding extended reality, we just thought that we should use the most common and most easy word. So if you search on extended reality on web, then you will have a lot of hits from different companies and different vendors, and but they are like referring to different kind of acronyms. But spatial web is maybe the best one, as I said, but it is the same. The most important part is the same as for 4 years ago. Just see the difference between AR and mixed reality and VR. So AR, mixed reality, and VR, if you see the difference there, then you are all good for now.
What exactly is the difference between AR and mixed reality?
Like AR is more static,
Yeah.
and like a general AR cannot interact with the world around us in the same way. So mixed reality is like reading the world around us in a better way, and therefore also have a lot more capabilities. But on the other hand, it's like we can set out and publish holograms in our digital content in our world, and it can be like a static, like my cup,
Yeah,
as a hologram. But like it's so, it is important that to understand that like digital content in the world can do so much more, and the capabilities of technology is so much more. So, and therefore you call it something like mixed reality, because that maybe include more capabilities. So yeah, so at least there are many different levels of opportunities and capabilities regarding holograms used on construction site, or in construction. Yeah.
I see. You mentioned a little bit earlier about extended reality that there are more definitions and people interpret it in different ways. The same is happening with BIM. It's been happening, right? So, what is your interpretation of building information modeling in your daily work, for example? What is BIM for you, like in simpler words?
Then it's like for us now is really as when I work as with like a contractor, and we are a general contractor in this project.
Yeah.
I'm in. Then my like my thought about BIM and my like main goal for BIM is to really be the between the engineers and site, and prepare the engineering, like the BIM model for site, and then prepare and give feedback to the engineering teams so they add value to the model, like for example the right parameters, and so we can use it on site. And actually, so for me, the last year or something, I really have focused mostly on parameters on IFCs, and actually for me it have opened my eyes to what is the final solution. And also there are some vendors that are supporting that type of workflow. So that is like what happened. Because IFC is not. I am working on a railroad project, so for infrastructure, IFC is not good. Building Smart need to do some more on the IFC. They definitely should do something more. They are a little bit lagging behind because it has not developed as it should. But anyway, because of the capabilities of IFC regarding like parameters, they are really good. So we add our user or product specific parameters like attributes.
Yeah.
So for example, we skip the whole IFC class and stuff like that because we cannot use it. So we just add our own parameters and attributes on who is product specific. So, and that works really fine. And so work breakdown structure, MMI, material, volume, böjekode, I don't know, but bend radius on rebars, every kind of that stuff we add on the object, and after that is actually really easy in many different software to use it and actually to create value on site regarding BIM and BIM workflow. So we aim for BIM-based execution.
So without drawings, using the 3D model to build, right?
Yeah, but actually we have in our project we have some drawings, and I think that is actually really nice. It is of course possible to build without drawings, but I think actually in future I don't think we will skip drawings. At least in some way, drawings is so much faster to read and understand in many ways. So I think either will the software vendors create capabilities inside like a typical BIM viewer who actually more or less create a drawing, or less we will have drawings. But we should see them together. So I don't know if it's you can see it in your mind, but like you should definitely like if you just see a BIM model is actually it's nice, but when you really should do something
With it.
with it, then it's actually really hard because it maybe you have to click on object and read the properties in a side panel, and that is actually not good enough. So you should definitely have like 2D text annotations, measurements on the model, and then we are good.
So yeah, so you're saying we don't have tools good enough to make the transition from the model to build something. Did you try any tools? Aren't there any specific tools for this? I don't know. I never used something like Dalux, but aren't there any tools like that help you to to or even Solibri? I don't know how it works from the tablet or from the phone.
Yeah, it works. Like there are many different software that works, but actually they are not good enough. No, none of them are not good enough.
It's too slow.
Yeah, they're like helping us really much, and they are the best we have. But I, in like said in a different way, in future we will have a lot more capabilities on inside that type of software. So we are not finished with that, and in because of that, we are in a phase regarding BIM use and BIM executions that are difficult and hard and frustrating and give not the value we should have. But like in really in near future, we will have a lot more effects and value out of BIM. But because we are slowly like develop both on the vendor side and the software side and the client side and the contractor side and engineering side. So
Yeah.
so yeah. So I think at least in our project we have a really good feeling. We have many different engineers and engineering companies because we are actually building a tunnel in the mud and in the clay. So it's we need there are not that many companies in Europe that are able to do this.
Oh.
So we have like many different companies. So it's really important to focus on like maybe one engineering firm and one task. So for example, as Øystein Ulvestad probably told you, they're focusing on the bridge, and as same as we focus mostly like BIM execution on the concrete tunnel
Yeah.
we will create beneath the, but not on the piles and and digging and all that kind of stuff, and maybe the plumbing and electric side will not have that high level of BIM. Yeah, so we focus on one area at a time, and then I think we will create something really good. And also our formwork vendor, our formwork will do like BIM modeling, and we will use that for many different type of use cases. So actually, I think we will do some really great stuff on that. But that is like because they have really good software to create them on, and also they are interested, and like the people are involved in a way that we see that, okay, then we try to do something here. That is an important part for as a BIM coordinator to focus on the right thing, and that is not always, for example, where the most value is, because probably there could be like an engineering firm that doesn't support this type of development, for example.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense, and it's really nice to hear actually about what are actually the challenges when you try to implement to do, because it's easy from my perspective to just stand here and talk about, yeah, it's nice to use the 3D model, it's easy to do it, but when you try to do it practically, then it's nice for me to find out what are actually the challenges, and other people, right? Because maybe somebody would be interested to do something about that. So I think it's very important this as well, to talk about the challenges you find when you try to pilot some new technologies or workflows in your projects. Would definitely be really nice. I don't know if you have a forum or something, or you talk about this inside the company, or you talk about in Building Smart or other forums, there meetings or something, but it's something I think this is can be very very valuable
Yeah.
to get this information out.
Yeah. For example, like like we can do that is like really hard for people that are not involved and maybe not have the responsibilities regarding technology and BIM, and that's like is hard to understand that you can actually do everything with technology, and we can save a lot of money or earn a lot more money, and it actually will have the greatest impact on the project that you can imagine. So no other type of focus area or like it will have that impact as technology and BIM and digitalization. But if we should have that, everyone should have like the same knowledge about that type of that focus area. So, and that is not the case. So it's really important if you work in a project where you should use BIM and kind of like that, is like to understand that there are a lot of softwares that can be used for every type of use cases, and they are really good. But we are not able to support all, like many different software. We need to choose the software that are not most necessary, and we need to have a plan. And that plan is really important. That is hard, but it is really important to get the whole project on board on that plan.
Yeah.
So for example, right now we are including a new software to a couple of new projects. And when we do that, it is really important that everyone in the project knows that software, like they are not fully developed. So there are things in the softwares that are hard and maybe not are really intuitive.
Yeah.
But that's how it is. And the best way to solve that is to ask for help, but also give feedback to, for example, me, because we have contact with the vendors. So if they give feedback and say we should have that and that button and it should be able to do this, then the software will develop. it is important to know that everything can be done, and it can be done really effective, but then we need too many software, so it's not at this time we will create value, but we are on a road to really creating value later.
Yeah. Yeah, this with the softwares, it's indeed a challenge. There are so many software solutions out there, and they come out more and more. So it's difficult to try and say to test all the time and have always the best tools. And if you understand how to use a tool, that doesn't mean that everybody will understand in the same way as you, right? So we might it might be easier for us to learn some tools easier than others. So yeah, that's a challenge.
Actually, we at one point we choose, like in our project right now, we choose like a really easy software because we aim that everyone should use it in some way. Yeah, so that's an example. So we choose like a really cheap and easy software to get everyone on board.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And see how it is. Yeah, and the risk is minimal then. If you commit yourself for a package of, I don't know, 50 license at Autodesk, then it's quite a big commitment compared with something more accessible for a specific purpose. Like,
Yes.
can you give some examples of some simple softwares that you use for different tasks in your company?
Yeah, actually, we have for like just get everyone on board on BIM and have like a BIM collaboration. In many ways, we have like the cheapest license on Trimble Connect. That is actually doing a lot for us. So that is actually our platform right now. So that is like it's like say, Solibri, for example, or Navisworks. But I know like Solibri and Navisworks in some way they have like really specific tools that are great and are better, but
And advanced, too advanced for your
too advanced.
purpose.
Yeah, yes. So like I think the most important part is to get everyone on board and see them all and can do the basic stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's very important.
Yeah, and also they have like a typical example of the same. We choose the cheapest license because I see that there are some more features in like a more advanced license, but we are not capable to use it, and so it's not necessary. Only a few people have it, so that is how we should think, and also what we actually need. So, for example, we actually right now there are some difficulties or not supported like BCF collaboration in that software, but we support that usage because it is demanded by the client. So we support that in a different software, but that is one important part here is that not everyone needs to see the task on model. So we open that, for example, and take a look at that together in a meeting.
Yeah.
Then we solve all those kind of tasks. So instead of choosing one software that have that capabilities but are maybe too hard for people, then and also more expensive, then we choose a cheap one and where everyone can use. And me myself do have a license that are capable at right now to do the BCF collaboration, because it is really important to know actually your project and know the needs to the other product team, because in many ways as a BIM coordinator I decide which type of software we should use in a project.
Yeah.
If I choose what I need, then it's probably wrong for the whole other team. So I choose what is actually what I need, They need some measurements. They need really like cloud solution. They need to be able to do some tasks in the model and also collaborate, create tasks. But okay, that is sorted out. It works, and it works on every platform. So okay, then that's great. On the other hand, I need a lot more tools for me.
Yeah.
And because I'm a BIM coordinator, but that I sort out myself. So I have every software, and I need every software to do everything. But like, it is important that we have at least 95% of the project team involved in BIM, and then but I am only 1%. So I take care of all the hard stuff, and
Yeah, that's nice. It definitely needs to be specific people to do this. You cannot do that, just dump all the softwares in on everybody. It's not possible.
No.
Let's talk a little bit about how the entire process is going. I'm not really well known how the things are going, like how you are using the 3D model, and if you build it yourself, if you design it yourself from a constructability point of view. How does this work? When like on the project, you have the project designed by the design team, right? By engineering company. After that, you get the project, and can you use that for construction, or you need to do something? Because I understood there have been like, it's normal that the builder, the general contractor, it's designing its own project without regards to the design one.
Yeah.
So from my point of view, that sounds not very effective. Like, you do the same job twice. And I was just thinking if it would be possible to combine this, but maybe this has something to do with the contract form as well. But can you tell me a little bit how this is working?
Yeah, at least for now. I think in future we are not we don't, the contract type is everything right now. But in future, the softwares will be, they have more capabilities to sort out that type of issues, as you described, where if we have a contract who is actually, like for the contract side, we just get all the whole design finished. But right now, I do most like when we are involved and in charge, and actually and in early phase, so we are able to interact with the engineers regarding design and get them to design what we actually should build and how we build. So that is really goes well. So in Norway we call it totalentreprise. I don't know. So
Yeah, can you describe in very generally how this kind of contract is working?
in the easiest way to say it is that we are we are signing the contract with the client first, and then we, together with a design team, we are of course a team, but like together, but we are responsible. So the general contractor are in charge and actually involved all the other designers and all the other vendors, and that is in early phase. Yeah. So at the start of the project. Yeah.
Is the customer involved at all in the early phase?
The customer, yeah, the client customer is involved, and they are like doing checking us, also helping us out. Yeah, they are involved through the whole phase, all phases in the project, and in the design phase they are, yeah, at least on our project here right now with Bane NOR, is really the collaboration is really good and necessary, and they are like, I think we are doing this together.
That sounds normal, and it's really nice
Yeah.
that it's happening this actually.
Yeah. But the most important part that we are designing this only once, because the design team we tell the design teams how we should execute the project and what they should focus on, and yeah. So and that we're doing typically, we should be able to doing good likes on ice sessions, but anyway, we have meetings at least on we have done 3D model up and discuss around it, and really trying to even the people who is installing the rebars, they have actually quite good impact on the design, because actually they are that is so almost funny, but why there are so many difficult before with other contracts is because we as a general contractor, there are things that are cost a lot and things that are costing not that much or less. So even though has been designed already, we will reduce the cost in the project if we do it in our way and design it more. So now we are able to connect the people who are doing the rebars into the design, and then we get out that value at once.
That's very important. It's amazing. Do you have an internal procedure that you are sure? How do you get feedback?
Everything is should be doing in meetings, and we call it and should call it ICE sessions, because I think VDC has covered how to do this in a very good way. So, but anyway, we are sitting together, and early enough, both the people on site and the design engineers can understand each other, and it takes some time, but it works. And also the software for execution has been the last year or something has really taken some steps. So yeah, it looks really well. It's really easy to one example on rebars. We include everything, every information on the rebars that we need to execute it. But also now the software we use for execution really reads and use that information in a good way. So it's easy for us to create work package for execution, and that's one of the key things. So we because if you have one tunnel that are if you have some small areas, it's 50 meters with concrete or 30 meters with concrete and rebars. It's too much to handle on site, to understand, and so then we need to package down in an easy way, and the software to do that is really coming, and so it's easy to just create the.
Can you share the software you are talking about?
Yeah, again, actually, yeah, it's the same we use actually for that. You can do Solibri, but we will have tablets on site, so we will use Trimble Connect on that also.
Trimble Connect, okay.
Yeah. So based on the parameters or attributes, we just create some rules, and it's packaged down to whatever we want, and it works without bugs. It works really well. So yeah,
It's very good and very important, and I think it's just it comes naturally that you save lots of money doing this in a meeting room than doing this on the site. I guess it's much more it costs you much more on the site.
Yeah, so definitely. Yeah, definitely. But also all the cost and savings I think at least a lot of the costs. If you like look at the project like with bird's eye, I think if we compare like a perfect project execution and what we have, I think it's really difficult to actually see what we're saving and where the cost is when we are like in. So there are a lot of costs and high costs in a project where we are not able to, like, don't understand it. And also that's the same with savings. I think sometimes we save a lot of money, but we don't see it because we are so, like, there are so many people involved, and it's hard to. So in my mind, I know that in near future we will do a lot more, and the value with BIM and value with technology will increase a lot. Suddenly we like for 5 years ago, almost no one in the industry know about AR, and AR are open a lot more value to BIM. So when we was discussing the value of BIM, we got for 5 years ago, we didn't know that we actually should include AR or mixed reality or virtual reality. So like the value is like, for me, I don't think we should focus that much on it because it is hard and it's not necessary. I think why we focus so much on value is because our leader and managers demand it, but it's easy to see the value, and we will have more value in the future.
Yes, exactly. It's a long-term commitment here, and right now making this shift, of course, requires a lot of. It's a learning curve, right? We learn, we try different things, but later in a few years, when you will have already a very good workflow with very good tools that you know how to use, then it's going to become the real saving.
Yeah. And in near future also we will like regarding BIM, but also I think we will learn regarding I am in charge for XR or AR.
Yeah.
I think we will learn from our mistakes in BIM, and in near future we will standardize more.
Yeah.
And that is because right now it's almost like anarchy. We're just doing whatever we want, and that is not valuable. So in near future, I think we will stick to one software and stick to one process, and then we will create a lot of value.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we see more of this. At least the big clients around Norway, they start coming with more concrete demands in what they want on their projects, and this is helping. If we talk a little bit about having the complete design before you start building it.
Yeah.
How often is that happening? I know this is not something usual practice, right? There are many contractors start building their project without having documentation yet, right?
Yeah, because like it looks like we as a contractor, our main task for creating value is just doing things and start digging. So so in our minds is like, if we're doing something, if we execute something, if we dig something, then we are create money and create value. So yeah, it happened that we just start with not enough design, but also regarding the different contracts, when the design is finished before we start and are involved in the project. I think also the software we are using are getting better and better. So I think if we are able to, like, for example, in a like BIM collaboration tool, if we're able to add parameters and settings and attributes on the object, we are able to do more. But until as it is right now, that is not good enough. So, but in near future, we will have BIM software who can add, like we as a general contractor can add value and like changing the IFC in some way, so it's actually usable for us. In the future, like a contract where the design is finished before we are involved is maybe usable, but right now, as a BIM execution and stuff like that, it's too hard and too difficult, and I don't think it's suitable for BIM development.
But is this because you are just not involved in the design? Like maybe so then it's easy. We should have a contract where you have the design before, but you have all the involved parts already defined, and they can give input. They can involve, including the builder, including the client. That would make sense, right? So you plan, you do all the simulations you need to have for everything, for energy, for light, for everything you need, right? And after that, when you have it like a prototype, you just start building it. Then the risk is also much lower, right? Because you know what you are going to build. You don't get any surprises on the way, right? Would that be
Yes.
difficult as to get this kind of contracts? Isn't this IPD?
I'm not aware totally on that, but yeah, it seems a little bit difficult. But again, just in general, our like leaders in the industry are not fully aware of all this new stuff with the technology, and they are not taking their responsibilities. So unless the customers, like the client is actually at least Bane NOR, Nye Veier, og Statens vegvesen, they are, and Statsbygg, they are actually, and also Sykehusbygg, they are actually doing their work. I think that they're taking their responsibilities as leaders in those companies. So I think that is great, but on the other side in the industry, the leaders are not fully aware, and if they had been fully aware of all this stuff, then they definitely will done something other than they are doing right now, and we are doing right now.
Well, I'm thinking like this. Like this is one reason why we need to keep talking about this. We need to talk about it. We need to expose this weakness, right? And maybe some of them will try to pick up, will pick up some noise and start implementing something. In the meantime, these other proactive clients, if you can call them like that, they will keep pushing forward their policies regarding BIM adoption. And yeah, we cannot. I think the worst we can do is just to stay and wait for everything to change for us. The least we can do is to talk about it and recognize it. Yes, there is a problem. We can do things better. It's sometimes easy, maybe too easy. Maybe a lot of people don't see any value in this, but I think it can have a big impact if we do this.
Yes. So yeah, in general, I think if we should like get more value and take next step, I think the leaders and if like I don't know, the foundation, like that everyone is on the same page, and like we need demands from the leaders. Actually, on site, we are like all the people on site and in the projects in many ways are really positive, and they are into this and they understand it. But we need more money, and we need more focus on technology and digitalization and BIM and AR, and yeah, we need more from the leaders.
This is exactly what I see. This is exactly what I see from you see this from a contractor point of view. I see the same as a designer. I see the same. People around me are aware. No, the top leadership lack the knowledge about it and the information. It gets better, but very slow. Yeah,
so that is like the bottleneck is leaders in the industry, at least from but not for the client side, actually.
for the public. For public, yes, but private. What do you know about the private ones? Like
no, the
Ubos?
private one is the same. It's like they are also lagging behind, I think, in many ways, or not that into it, and yeah, every leader should see to the public leaders, public client leaders.
Yeah, I agree. I think we still, as consultants, I still, in to some degree, this is the responsibility of consultants as well, because maybe we don't really have the best interest to give the best advice all the time, and when a customer is going to build something, to build a project, right? They will consult consultants, right? So I discussed this previously, and it's really interesting. We should give better advice as consultants.
Yes, and this is actually also for me. It's actually our responsibilities because, like environmental thing, because we are in a industry that are really like
The worst.
we have
40% of the entire carbon footprint is generated by the
yes,
by our industry.
and because of what you described, like what is our value as our company, and what is actually gaining value to a project is not the same anytime as we have right now, then we definitely will never change if that's keep on going. So yeah. So for me, it's like really important to be open on like, and actually we need to focus on in my perspective. I focus mostly on what is actually the best for the whole project, and involve and have a more vision longer than the next month.
Oh my God, yeah, that's very important. That's vital. We talk about projects that we plan to use for 50 or even 100 years, right? If we talk about infrastructure, so that better not be the case. But yeah, people think mostly about what they have in front of their face, and it's not easy to think long term. It's not easy at all because it's challenging, and yeah.
Yeah, it is. But again, the leaders' responsibilities are that is like taking the vision in and see the future. And in 2020, we need a plan for technology and digitalization and new workplaces, new work processes, because it's like 10 years, like 10 years too late.
Yeah, I completely agree with that.
Yeah.
2020 is done already. It's like from the next year. But I cannot agree more with you on this. This is exactly my opinion, and I completely support this your affirmation regarding the leadership that needs to learn a little bit more about this, to be more willing to learn and to listen and try to see, at least to try to see what might be the potential. Yeah, but there is something else I would like to ask. What about inside your company? How is the leadership? Do they listen to you?
In some way, in some cases, yeah, they are really into it. So we have investments going on that are really interesting and are like for future. So definitely in some ways, but
Could be better. could be
Yeah, it
better.
could be better. Yeah, of course. It's like we are on a road and we are taking steps, but forward. But definitely, actually, also our perspective on this. I think in many ways we are using too much money to get that so little value.
I
And
understand.
again, because I have no responsibility regarding which type of software and how the process and like who will create the value. But the leaders who actually have the responsibility, they are not like into it and they are not taking that responsibility. So that
They
is
don't
actually
involve. Yeah.
no. So that means that actually we should more or less maybe use less money and less effort, but we will get more value if we decide something. So actually one of the key things, and also I think will in near future we will decide and standardize and take decisions more, and that will help us a lot. And actually we can actually in some ways use a lot less money.
Yeah, yeah. I'm sure about this is not the problem with Veidekke. This is definitely a challenge every company is facing. It's a new world. It's a new workflow. It's a new. There are so many new processes, right? So many new technologies to implement and such. So it's going to take time. I'm well aware about that. What I would like more to see more interest and maybe some investment in education regarding this. I
Yeah.
In
Yes.
education, like try to see like I don't think many like, or if not education, like you said, if let's say if leadership doesn't have time to involve themselves in the tools that are used or such, then you should have a person that should have that job and that make the connection between the people using it and the people buying it, and to make sure that people using it know how to use it properly and the leadership understands how that tool delivers value. So there are more ways to go about this, but it would be nice to see like everything is changing so fast right now because of the technology, right? Especially about BIM, like you say, everything, each new software coming out may disrupt something. So it's very important to not like don't wait 5 years until you start looking around what is happening, what are the other doings, and maybe some forums, like some communities where we share more about this. But not only like I have a problem with the conferences where everybody is showing how good we are and how cool the projects we build are, but I would like to have like a mastermind maybe, or a group where people come and talk about challenges they face. Like you said, like I have problem, it's not so easy to build this project after the 3D model. I have these problems. Don't you encounter this the same? Like from this perspective, I think it would help a lot. Maybe this can be a governmental program or something. I don't have any idea, but it might be something there, right? I think the government can do a lot regarding this as well. Like if we talk about leadership, you can go there as well. And we don't necessarily have any guidelines or any laws regarding this. And it could be something, I guess. I don't know. I'm not an expert into this, but I'm just thinking it might help. It might be something that might work and make everybody involved in this willing to work better together, right? Building Smart is doing a job regarding this. I don't know if it's enough. Maybe there are things that they are limited to do. So, like you said, standardization is helping, but government can make laws, and or if not laws, some task force that might be seen as the flame bearer ahead, right? I think I've heard about this recommendation from digital Vicart 2.0, digital map 2.0 made by some agencies here in Norway. So yeah, maybe because it's I think another weakness we have, we are quite scattered, and we don't really, we can work better together. And in BIM, it's collaboration mindset, way of working, right? So the better we work together, the quicker, the sooner we might get there, and we might benefit more about it.
Yes, definitely. So so that is like one of the most important parts, and but also, yeah, the technology are evolving so fast, and again, like a roadmap and a plan for like every company should have a plan for this, because it's otherwise it will be really expensive. But I think most company in Norway and Scandinavia are like, we are understanding and we are like on track regarding understanding, but we are not on a track to get value on this. So because they are like not decided anything. it's just doing whatever you want and do something nice and great for your project, but you cannot use it for other projects. So standardization. So new technology, yeah, and so then we have BIM, but at least but also in a bigger scale, AR and mixed reality and VR will be the same. Then we will have quite many more hardwares and quite many more softwares, and we have the same issue or like problem or opportunity as with BIM, and that is just like one new area of technology. So we have, at least because we have had BIM for many years, so we're starting to really get things up and running, but then suddenly XR are here, and how to handle that, and that
Yeah.
my responsibility until now has been like really to get the whole Veidekke on board and working together, like in general, on that technology, and that is the only way we can actually gain value faster than we've done with BIM, and like get rid of a lot of all the talking and all the misunderstandings and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
that is my main goal as a project lead there, is to really create a database with all the knowledge and have a roadmap, and that people can stick to that roadmap. And we of course will change it whenever there come some new possibilities. But on the other hand, it will be easy for everyone in Veidekke to stick to that plan, and then we will evolve together in a much different way than we have used with BIM. And that is, I think actually that is the most value. It's more value with standardization than the technology itself. So if we are good to standardization and doing things together, then we will succeed and actually be in front. But yeah,
Yeah.
so that's our main goal is actually to standardizing. And are you aware of the capabilities of like mixed reality or AR, or have you seen how do you look into augmented reality? Or
Yes, yes. I know about side vision from Trimble, and I'm yeah. Now this might become like a publicity or something, but I'm working with VGIS, which is a Canadian company delivering augmented reality platform for a construction company or maintenance company or utilities company. So yes, I see it. I definitely see the potential there. It's a no-brainer. It's just a quite big barrier right now to break, but it's something that will come more and more naturally. I see it as the natural evolution of things.
Yeah.
So not it is no denial in that there is a lot of value in there. I don't know exactly regarding VR. I don't know exactly how valuable is the technology right now. AR, like I said, I see it. It's used. It's used already. You definitely use it. It's used by lots of companies to check, to see things before you go and start digging, maybe even, right? So it's undeniable.
Yeah. Great. Actually, have you tried out VGs via GIS?
Me myself, I don't have the tools, but I've been tried it with somebody in a company. I would not say more details about this. I can tell you later. But yes, we tried it, and they have many customers around Europe and all over the world actually. And yeah, it's something we can talk more about if you are interested. They offer free demos to try their software. So
yeah, I know them quite well. So
okay,
yeah.
okay. Did you use?
No, not yet.
Okay.
But yeah, I know them quite well. So because they are but that is like yeah. So it is important to like if we just think about the future. So if we already have the BIM software, and we have all those software. Actually, if you take a look at XR developers in Norway, I think there are already more developers and vendors in Norway than there are in BIM. And that is actually like, okay, so if we already have like, okay, all those kind of softwares in BIM, what will happen when we are moving into XR?
Yeah.
Then we have, even in Norway, we have like 10, 12 vendors.
You talk about something like Dimension T, 10, Vixel,
Yeah.
StreamBeam. It's Norwegian, StreamBeam.
Yeah, for example, yeah, there are a lot of different vendors, and not like resellers, but vendors and developers. So
Oh, I see. Not resellers, but they develop.
yeah, develop
Okay.
their own. There's Norwegian developed software on BIM. I don't think, but there are not many BIM software from Norway.
Yo, there are some, and many of them have been bought by Trimble, by Autodesk, by Nemetschek. You know.
Yeah. But there are
There
not
are.
many. I just mentioned that XR is like completely new.
Yeah, of course. When you think from this perspective, like BIM has been around for 15, 20 years, like we talk about BIM for so long, right? And we know I don't talk too much about the XR, for example, and thinking you have already 10 companies, 10 startups, maybe it's more properly to name them, involved in this. It's very exciting. And no, and this is very nice, and I plan to showcase and have to present these kind of technologies in the future, interview these companies as well in another way. I have, for example, I publish like I don't have a rule when I publish this, but I do some kind of workshops. Like I had how to use BIM 360 from Autodesk with a guest, how to use Forge, and I had a presentation of a project. So I will have this as something I have it planned. I just need to take a little bit more control on my time. But it's something very important. I really believe this podcast is important as a talk, as to keep the awareness, to push, to talk, keep us talking about it. But I want to do something more practical as well, to show good examples to people as well.
Yeah, you should, because I think there is where you learn.
Yeah.
Like the more in specific. But anyway, just to sum up, like, because I taking up this and discuss AR and mixed reality.
Yeah.
Because I think like in many ways a BIM model shown in AR, for example, gives a lot more value on or if it's just a BIM model on a 2D.
Of course.
So And that means that we probably in future will create the BIM model with AR demands. So how should we look at the BIM model and the digital twin in AR? So, and that means that we will, in near future, we will create demands inside Veidekke. So how to, okay, you should work with us as a designer. Okay, and then we need the BIM model look like this.
Yeah, that makes
Because
completely
we
sense.
use AR, yeah.
Just a short mention about requirements about AR. That looks really interesting, and I think this will come eventually from clients as well as requirement. AR or VR ready projects or 3D BIM models. But I don't know how much it's involved to convert a usual model, BIM model, in a VR ready, and I don't know exactly how practical it's the use of VR, like I said. But it's very important that these companies are supported by other companies that stake into this, and it's very good. How can somebody contact you if they want to ask you something about anything?
They can contact me on LinkedIn. That is maybe the easiest way. So just send me an email or on LinkedIn.
Awesome. Well, Øyvind, it was very nice to have you. Thank you very much for taking the time. It was a very nice discussion and I learned a lot.
Same to you. So I learned myself, and it was interesting. And keep on doing your great work. That is important. I think you will have a really like your knowledge base with all these podcasts. That should be like that is great. So definitely keep on doing your work.
Thank you very much. I will keep doing that. I won't give up.